Well, hello there, Peach here, and I have talked a lot about immune support lately, especially because of, all the stuff going on right now with the whole COVID and the lockdown and the effects that the lockdown is having on our immune system, which is phenomenal. And that's the elephant in the room that people don't actually even know about or aren't talking about. And we hear all these things on the news and the media about washing our hands and wearing our masks and staying away from other people and social distancing and all that stuff. And that's all fine and dandy, but they're not giving us any health information of actually how to stay healthy and get healthy. And then I'm watching my Alexa screen thing over there, and she's showing me recipes for deep fried donuts and desserts and junk food. And it's like the opposite of what she should be showing me right now. And so we're not hearing anybody talk about how to increase your immune system. And the scary thing is with the measures that we're taking right now with the masks and the germ paranoia and staying away from each other and the lockdown and massive hand sanitizer use and all this stuff is setting us up for a huge second wave. And it's not just gonna be COVID, it's pretty much everything. It's gonna be all the bugs that are floating by that always do every year, every season. And we are decimating our immune systems. So I wanted to call out that elephant in the room and talk about what we can do to be healthier and to boost our immune system. So this fall, when normally we're all getting sick, we see a natural spike around that time of year in the fall and the winter for lots of different reasons. And it's going to be worse this year if we don't take extra care to boost our immune system. If you know me or have followed me on any of my channels, you probably know I'm a researcher and spend a lot of time researching the science on health and fitness and nutrition and those things. So I'm not a doctor, I'm not an immunologist, I'm not an epidemiologist, but I'm a researcher. And it's probably good that I'm not a doctor. If I were a doctor, it'd be more of a functional medicine practitioner where I would look at the cause of things instead of just trying to treat the symptoms with drugs and stuff. So there's certainly purpose for drugs, and they're great when they're needed and to help save our lives. But anyways, that's a whole nother rabbit hole I'd run down, not for this video. So we're talking about boosting your immune system. And from what I've researched, I've ranked them in order of importance. And number one is exercise, because exercise, physical activity, changes so many things in your body on so many levels. Just from one session, the rest of your day, your immune system is boosted more than anything else you can do. So that's number one. And it doesn't have to be intense exercise like xgym. It can be just going for a walk. Something active, something that gets you breathing harder than normal and get your heart rate up higher than normal. And start with 5 minutes. Start small if you're starting, or just commit to 5 minutes a day. And the shorter the time, the more intense it should be. But if you only have 5 minutes for a leisurely walk, then go do it, because it's probably great to get outside too. And that's another thing we're gonna be talking about. But that's number one, is exercise, and just to start it. Doesn't matter how much, how intense, just start. And then number two, in my opinion, is hydration, to make sure you're properly hydrated. 80% or more of the people out there are not properly hydrated. They're dehydrated clinically and chronically. And when you're hydrated, your organs, everything is working better. Your gut microbiome is more happy. Your temperature regulation system is working better. And it's just a great idea for so many reasons. And then third on the list would be supplements. So vitamin D is probably the number one. Your skin makes vitamin D, but only in the sun. And so if you're not getting out into the sun, you need to be taking it. Vitamin D3 is the best form. And if it can be combined with K2, like this, it's my favorite brand. I think it's the best one, Mercola, because K2 helps you absorb the D3. The next one is quercetin. So I take quercetin with bromelain because it's an anti-inflammatory, very strong anti-inflammatory. But the quercetin with the zinc, I do this ionic zinc, and the reason is it's such a great combination is it helps get the zinc into your cells, kind of like the hydroxychloroquine and zinc combination does. Then you can also take vitamin A, which helps to coat the cells like an outside barrier to help protect against the coronavirus getting in there. And then of course, vitamin C, everybody's known that since the beginning of time. I don't have mine out here, but it's liposomal is the brand or the kind of vitamin C that I take, because liposomal is fat coated and it makes it through your digestive system and stomach acid and all that stuff more intact, so more is absorbed on the other side. And then colloidal silver is a magic potion, and then minerals are super important. So I take this particular brand, which is fulvicumic minerals, and the reason that's so good is because there's also electrolytes in there, and so I just put that in my coffee. It's relatively tasteless. Magnesium is very important for many reasons, and most people are deficient in magnesium, just like vitamin D. And then a multivitamin is also a great idea, and that's another reason I take beef organ capsules, because it does have vitamins and minerals in there. And then cacao or cocoa is huge for immune. And I put some in my coffee every day. I put a scoop, which is like a teaspoon, in my coffee, stir it in, and it makes it kind of like a mocha, but it's just so good. And I drink 3 or 4 cups of decaf coffee a day because of the health benefits of coffee. And so I'm getting lots of cacao in there, and of course, organic coffee, organic cacao. And by the time I'm done with my coffees, I've had the equivalent of at least one big, large, dark chocolate bar as far as the health benefits of cacao. And then fermented foods are huge. So that's not a supplement, it's a food. It can be kimchi, it can be sauerkraut. Lots of different kinds of fermented foods are super good for you. Of course, everything is organic, whether it's a supplement or whether it's a food. That's really important to keep the pesticides, fertilizers, and GMO stuff out of there. And then to eat low inflammatory foods. So I've got a post on xgym.com about that. And omega-3 fat is probably the highest low inflammatory food, but there's a big long list of other low inflammatory foods on there. I did a survey on Facebook of friends on there to find out what they were eating, and of those foods, how much and how often. And so that's on my Facebook page too. But then I made a post about it and wrote about it, and that's the post on xgym.com. And then of course, make sure your food is clean. Like I said, organic, non-GMO, and you're getting great nutrition with a lot of green veggies, omega-3s from fish, and grass-fed beef is really super high in omega-3s. Gotta be organic grass-fed beef, of course, or other wild meat. And then just eating right, real food, staying away from processed food, especially the sugar. And if it comes in a bag or box, it's probably processed. And if the ingredient list is a paragraph, that's definitely processed. And I tell people to look at the label on whatever package you're eating out of as a warning label, like you see on the cigarette carton. Now, get outside in the sun preferably, but just spend time outside in the air out there. Roll around in the grass and the dirt, take off your shoes, be in contact with the earth, go swimming at the beach, wrestle with your dog, and get dirty, because there's microbes that are really good for you in the earth and the soil. And when you're locked inside, you're not getting any of that. And it's part of why your immune system is becoming decimated. You can still stay away from COVID and coronavirus and other people and social distance, but still get these microbes that you need to get by getting outside, rolling around in the dirt, wrestling with your pets, going swimming, stuff like that. And the reason that it's so important is because you are populating your gut microbiome with those kinds of things and the fermented foods, and maybe taking probiotics if you want. Same thing, same reason for that than fermented foods, because it's the probiotic thing. Prebiotics, which feed your large intestine, because your gut microbiome is 80% of your immune system. And that's why exercise is so important, because exercise changes your gut microbiome favorably, independent of nutrition. And hydration is huge too for your microbiome, because you need to be hydrated for those microbes to be happy down there. And the next is belief in the power of placebo. Placebo's fantastic. I'm a huge fan of placebo, because if you believe something about yourself, about your wellness, then your body can actually manifest that. So if you believe that you're going to be strong and well and stay well, and even tell yourself that out loud, then you are actually more likely to be able to fight stuff off. And I could go into why, there's tons of reasons for that, but just look it up. It's pretty amazing, the power that the body has. And then there's the stress management, because when you're stressed out all the time, that's really hard on your immune system, and it's harder to fight off stuff. So doing stress reduction exercises, breathing, meditation, prayer, worship, whatever works best for you to reduce your amount of stress. And whenever you feel yourself getting all worked up, like if you watch the news too much, for instance, then you can do things to mitigate that, or stop watching the news so much. And things like gratitude, watching funny YouTubes, comedy shows, exercise, another really good reason to exercise. It's a great stress reduction, arguably the best way to reduce stress. And then last on the list is masks and hand sanitizers. So the jury's still out actually on whether masks work or not. And there's actually more evidence against masks working for viruses than for masks working. Lots more against it than for it. And hand sanitizers, the research says that washing your hands is actually better than using hand sanitizer all the time. And hand sanitizer can kill some of the good microbes that are on your hands that need to get into your mouth and into your gut microbiome. So overdoing it can be a problem. And getting back to masks, there's some research that say it can even be worse with some masks, especially the cloth. So my official stance on masks is still to do it if it makes you feel better. Again, placebo is very powerful. And the reason I do is to make other people feel more comfortable around me, but I get the heck off my face as fast as I can. And in the xgym, I tell people inside the four walls of the xgym, we're still a free country, and it's your choice of what you want to do with the mask. So our governor here in Washington has said that you don't have to wear a mask if you have difficulty breathing. Well, guess what? When you're exercising, you have difficulty breathing. And you don't also have to mask if you can social distance. And guess what? In the xgym, we can do that really easily because of our layout. So most of our members aren't working out in their mask, but if they choose to, that's great, because that's their choice. It's their face, their choice. But I would say research it for yourself and start with the extremes. So go to one extreme side and just see what CNN has to say about masks, or any of those mass media companies. And then go to the other side and see what masksdon'twork.com has to say about the research. And then you'll find your own truth somewhere in the middle. As long as you don't have any cognitive bias and any agenda yourself, you're open to both sides and finding out your own truth, then you should totally look into that. But all that being said, we do also have hand sanitizer in the gym for people who feel like it makes them feel better. But I also make sure everybody knows, and my members are all going to see this, that overdoing it can be a health problem, and it can lower your immune system. The other thing about the xgym is we're constantly cleaning everything, which is easier for us to do than any other gym because of our layout, because we don't have big, huge, machines that everybody's touching all the time. It's more functional suspension training stuff. And we have a big, huge, way overbuilt HVAC system that's blowing air constantly only from the outside. I rerouted it so it's not recirculating anything. It's just pulling it in, blowing it in. And we've got humidifiers because humid air is better. We're also complying, of course, with all the governor mandates so we don't get shut down. And we're exceeding them with things like pulse oximeters and temperature readings and things going above and beyond. And we have two great ways to train, and one is in the gym and the other is online, which we've been doing since 2018. So we're already really good at that when this whole COVID thing started. And so if people aren't comfortable, they can train with us from their home, and they'll feel really safe. And then I saved the best for last. And personally, for me, the best way to stay healthy and stay well is through prayer and my faith, because God is the ultimate healer. And He's in control of my health. And I can do all these things, this big long list of things. And He wants us, of course, to work at it and try at stuff. But He's got the final say in what happens or not. And whether I get COVID or not, whether I get another bug or not, rarely do. I can't remember the last time I was sick, but I do all this because it still makes me feel healthier and makes me feel better. And there's no downside. I mean, why not? Plus, I could be wrong about everything I say. I've been wrong more than I've been right in my life. So take this advice with a grain of salt, and it's what I've researched, it's what I've found. But bottom line is, I'm not actually sure about anything. I can sound pretty opinionated about stuff, but I'm really only sure about one thing: that I'm saved, salvation is real, Jesus is real, and everything else, best case is I can claim I'm borderline positive. And I feel bad for the people who don't have the assurance of eternal salvation, because they're more controlled by fear. They're going to fear death. They're going to fear destruction. They're going to fear lots of stuff. And fear is no way to live. And fear will attack your immune system. But I don't have that because I've got my faith. And then in closing, if I started to feel sick, I would first go to my pulse oximeter, because if it's COVID that's coming down, then the first early warning is low blood oxygen. Even before you start to feel really crummy, even before a fever hits. So I know what mine is normally. My baseline, like most people, is 95 or higher. So if I was below that, in the low 90s, I'd go, And then I'd sit there for a while and I'd see if it goes up with breathing, because maybe I'm just shallow breathing. And if it doesn't, I'm like, okay, I'm on it. So I'm taking extra stuff. I'm gonna do some light exercise to get my body temperature up, my heart rate up, but not intense exercise at that point. And this is the case for anything bug that I feel like I'd be coming down with. I would add mushrooms to the mix. I have a mushroom mix that I take. I'd start eating more bone broth. I'd make my own bone broth in my crock pot. I'd step up the hydration. I would work on my brain. I would use my affirmations about, how great I feel and how well I feel and how strong my immune system is. And most importantly, I'd just pray like crazy and put it in God's hands, total surrender, try as much as I can, but it's his call. It's up to Him. Everything's up to Him, and put my trust and faith in Him like I always do. And that would be my plan. There you have it. For what it's worth. Again, I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor. That's just what I would do. And when other people ask me for advice about the immune system, this is what I tell them. And I warn them, getting back to how I started, I end with the warning that our immune systems are being decimated right now with all the stuff that's being required of us and the habits that we're doing. And we're setting ourselves up to catch lots of stuff. So the second wave isn't just going to be COVID, even if it is at all. It's going to be lots of other bugs that are always floating around that we're going to be so susceptible to because of what we've been doing lately that no one's talking about to destroy our immune systems. And this is the way to reverse that. So I'm on it. I've been on it for months. I feel like I am super protective, virtually bulletproof, and I'm hoping this will help other people to be more protective and start to really take control of their own health, as my favorite doctor, Dr. Mercola, always says. And think about what you can do to get healthier, because the media isn't helping at all, giving any advice on that. All they're telling us to do is to sanitize ourselves, keep our masks on, wash our hands all the time, stay away from other people, and they're not giving us any advice on proper nutrition, health habits, anything like that, which is bizarre. But if you start thinking about health and find out for yourself what you should do for your own health, don't just follow what I say, because like I said, I could be wrong. I'm a researcher, and I think most of this stuff, if not all, this is what I'm doing. So it's correct in my mind. But you'll find your own truth if you look into it hard enough and make sure that you spend the time to decide what's best for you and get healthier and reverse this crisis coming at us from people who are just listening to the mainstream and staying afraid and not taking care of their health. Gosh, most people are doing the opposite. They're staying inside and they're eating junk. They're comfort eating and just chowing down on processed food and gaining weight, getting less healthy. And it's just, that could create a second wave right there. So spread the love, spread the word, help others get healthier, but start with yourself. And if you got something out of this, please share. Pay it forward so someone else can benefit from it. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.
And that's all I have to say about that.